George, can I tell you about this artist I've been listening to? I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Revolutionary.
And
yeah.
Who is this artist that you
heard of DJ T?
DJ T? No.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. He's kind of an older gentleman.
Okay.
For sure. His whole shtick, he's on stage, like typically wearing suits. He's been on a tour lately, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was just in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really, I don't know, like, he's really into like old school Broadway and like opera.
Interesting.
He plays a lot of opera at his concerts, or I guess not concerts. They're more like gatherings, I guess.
Oh, gatherings?
Yeah, I mean, like the DJT has some gatherings for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Like his marketing team is like really, really good. He sells a lot of merch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like. He's just kind of like he's a revolution in music.
Okay.
He plays a lot of YMCA too.
Okay. Wait, how does he revolutionize music?
Well, he does a little dance every time.
He does a little dance?
Yeah, well, like sometimes he'll like take questions from the audience
during the gatherings.
During the gatherings.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll take questions, or like other times he'll play a song and then he'll just like sit there for like 30 minutes.
Just like sit there and chill for 30 minutes?
Yeah. And he also does, I mean, and I'm going to say it, very good speeches.
Okay. What race is this guy? Sorry.
Oh, he's white. White.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from New York.
Okay. He gives speeches on like what?
Just like how to like make America great again.
Oh, wait. No, okay. Now I'm super confused.
What? DJT?
Are you talking? Dude, why did that take me so long to get you were talking about motherfucking Donald Trump? Does he make music? Is Donald Trump making music?
No, but he's an artist. He does the weave.
I guess he does. And you know what? He does just sit there and chill on stage for 30 minutes.
While opera and the YMCA plays.
I can't believe that I got duped. Welcome back to the Obligatory Podcast. You asshole.
I was trying to get people with that at work all week.
How long have you thought of that bit?
Yesterday. All week. You know, the week started yesterday. I was going around work and I was like, yo, y'all, what do you guys think about DJT? And they're all like, they talk to me way too much. they know who I'm talking about. They
knew exactly who you were talking about?
Yeah.
I can't believe that flew over my head so far. Like that was an airplane going above my head, and I was like genuinely interested on DJ T's gatherings. I almost asked about his gatherings because I thought like
people keep leaving is the thing. So
did you go to that Trump rally?
No, I wanted to, but I couldn't find anyone to go, and I wanted to bring you, but for obvious reasons, I did not want to bring you at all.
Where was the?
It was in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania. There was also one in Reading, dude. When I posted like a thing to my close friends that said, does anybody want to go to a Trump gathering in Pennsylvania with me? And nobody said yes. Nobody said.
Did anyone reply?
Yeah, many people replied. Many people, they came up to me and they told me that they would go if it wasn't their girlfriend's birthday. So that's fucking lame.
That's such a lie. I would have been down to go with you. I think the thing that was holding me back was that I'm in Richmond, and I would have needed a way to get up to Nova and then also go to Pennsylvania. I don't care about the fact that I'm black and at a Trump rally. I would have been able to.
I don't know if I would feel good bringing you to Racism Central.
You know those people that go to Trump rallies and they're like, where are all the black people? And they're looking around like the Trump rally, and they're like, that guy's one, and then he comes up and he's like, oh, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just walking through town.
Just fucking here.
Yeah, I would have been that one person that people pointed at and been like, look, one of them's here. Yeah, they support him too.
Yeah. Actually, he has 8% more black votes than he used to in the last election.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that in Africana Studies today. I have an Africana Studies class at VCU, and our teacher was talking about how Kamala Harris is trying to appeal to black men specifically to get up and vote.
Like 2 days ago, she was just at a thing for black men.
But we're not here to talk about...
We're not here to talk about politics.
No, that is the last thing we want to talk about on this podcast. We're here to talk about something that me and Forrest are also passionate about.
I would say that might be just as important.
Just as important
to many people
US
around the
politics.
world.
Definitely to me.
Yeah.
And that is fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, me and George both have a deep history with fighting games.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we're both extremely talented at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
To what I would say is an equal amount.
Well, I don't know if I would say that.
George, there's no reason to be a sore loser.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Forrest does beat me all the time, and he also beats me in video games. Me and Forrest both love Super Smash Brothers. That's obviously like the big one that we play. That's probably like, I'd probably say the biggest fighting game. It has the most like sales.
By sales, that's the biggest fighting game.
I mean, most people would consider it a party game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of people on the internet that maybe spend a lot of time on the internet. Yeah. That would be very pissed at you for saying that, but I think it's true. Like, it is just kind of objectively the largest fighting game.
Most recognizable.
Yeah.
I would say.
Like, when it comes to like a competitive scene, it doesn't even...
Not even...
It's fucking nothing.
I mean, Melee is definitely a behemoth of a fighting game in terms of internet toxicity.
But it's not that big.
No. Compared to something like Street Fighter or Tekken or Mortal Kombat,
it's nothing.
Absolutely not. What fighting games have you enjoyed?
I've played mostly platform fighters.
Oof.
I've really enjoyed like Rivals of Aether.
That's
one of my favorite games.
One that we both had a big phase of is a little game called Multiverses.
Oh, yeah.
That game is dead in the water.
Super dead. What are the largest potential I've ever seen?
Wasted.
Largest potential. It's owned by Warner Brothers, which means any Warner Brothers character could have been in the game, including and not limited to LeBron James.
LeBron James. That is
Bugs Bunny. Wonder Woman.
Rick and Morty. Finn and Jake.
Space Invaders guy. The alien from Bugs Bunny World.
Martian,
whatever.
Yeah,
Marvin.
That's Marvin the Martian. I was thinking of Martian Manhunter. Man, he should be in the game.
He could be in there. And there's a lot of potential for like someone like Young Sheldon.
Which
is a fan favorite. People love Young Sheldon. I hear a lot of people talk about Young Sheldon.
I'm clamoring for Young Sheldon to appear in a fighting game, and Multiverses is right there. A lot of people want Walter White in the game. Now, he's not owned by Warner Brothers, but they are open to third-party characters, much like Smash. I'm also very big into a little game called Guilty Gear.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of Guilty Gear. I have to be honest, most 2D fighting games just don't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how to put in a quarter circle. That's a lie. But it's just, for me, they're not that fun. I just don't prefer them. I think I've tried a lot of them. I think the barrier to entry for me is too high.
I gotcha.
I just don't care to get good at them. And if you're not like pretty good, you're essentially useless.
I know what you mean. I was also the same way when it came to 2D fighters for a while. I had a little bit of an Injustice phase where I would play with my brothers.
We've all played Injustice with people on the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think that's a pretty good like.
I grew up playing a lot of Injustice actually.
Who did you play?
I played a lot of who did I play? I think I played Flash.
Oh, you suck.
I know.
But you know what? I can't talk because I played Harley Quinn.
If I could be very honest, I think that I played extremely casually, and for a long time, probably my whole life, I've been really into the random button.
Oh.
Or just picking whoever looked good. Like, I've always... You know this about me. I love that random button. That guy's fucking awesome.
That's basically your main in Smash Brothers. You pick random
more
and
fun.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I'm not on that wave. When I play a fighting game, I stick to like maybe 2 or 3 characters that I like. I know I'm really good at. Like in Super Smash Brothers, I play like Jigglypuff and Lucas. In Guilty Gear, I play Ava and Faust.
Yeah,
I like to stick to what I know. But we're not here to just talk about fighting games as a whole.
No, because frankly, George, we couldn't.
No, we couldn't. But one thing that we can talk about for an hour is YouTube.
Yeah. As everybody knows, we have the internet's foremost YouTube historians here. Forrest, Ganya, and George as well. These people are people who have spent way too much time curled up in a ball on a couch watching a small laptop.
Absolutely. And I was trying to think, like, the other month, like, what could we do to combine these two, like, loves and passions that we have for both YouTube and fighting games. And I thought...
A threesome, if you will.
A threesome between you, me,
we're one.
One entity.
And then also fighting games and
also,
YouTube.
And also YouTube.
So, kind of like the play button hits it from the back while the fighting games watch.
Yeah, they're on the cuck chair.
Yeah, well, for sure. Smash Brothers is.
We thought it would be really interesting to make up a hypothetical roster for a YouTuber fighting game that I'm dubbing YouTube Creator Clash. That is the name that I
like that. Very original.
Yeah, that is the name that I am not stealing and putting onto this fighting game. So me and Forrest, independently on our own time, came up with a list of 20 YouTubers that we thought would be really interesting or unique in a fighting game. And the way that we're kind of thinking this would work is kind of similar to a Marvel versus Capcom style of fighting, where you pick 3 YouTubers and in the middle of fighting, you can switch between like the YouTubers. Let's say, I don't know, you got like Mr. Beast on the field, and you got PewDiePie, and I don't know, you got like Dude Perfect or something. Yeah. And they're all like
which
fighting.
Are maybe the big 3 of YouTube, if I could be honest.
They are definitely titans.
That's somebody's like 3 favorite YouTubers.
That's some like 12-year-olds. Like 12-year-old boy who's like really wants to play football. That's his. Yeah. Those are his 3 favorite YouTubers. And you can switch between them like mid combo to like extend it and get some like crazy shit in there. And also, if you press like the LT button or the left trigger button, you can summon in one of your other fighters to come in and do an assist move. I'm sure I put like gameplay of Marvel vs. Capcom on the screen for the YouTubers.
Yeah. And of course, it's just very confusing to watch if you don't know what's going on.
It is.
But take it as basically where it's like it's a collaborative fighting game where you can choose multiple people for a team and they work together in order to beat the other multiple people.
Yeah. Me and Forrest, we have lists of 20. We're going to go through each of our YouTubers, pitch them to each other, and then at the end, we're going to cut roughly 10 of them, unless we have like some overlap or something.
And surely there will be a little bit of overlap. I think me and George both tried. We haven't looked at each other's lists.
No.
But I have a lot of faith in us that we both
got fucking weird with it.
Relatively weird with it. But also, we know each other enough to know who the other one would pick for certain.
Yeah.
So I think we're both good at avoiding that.
Absolutely.
And if you have any ideas in the comments.
Oh, I was gonna say that at the end.
I would love to hear what you guys have for our roster. Tell us your stages.
Oh yeah.
Tell us your items. Tell us how beautiful we look today.
Yeah, please tell us that.
Especially that.
I put a lot of effort into my hair today.
Yeah.
So it would mean a lot if somebody said something about it.
Yeah, it would certainly. Yeah, I'm sure it would for you.
Okay, I might as well go first.
Yeah, please.
This was my idea. And I think if we're talking about a collection of YouTube icons, a collection of YouTube titans, there's one name that simply cannot go unmentioned. And that is the YouTube golden boy, Mr. Beast, who I am dubbing the creator of monetization. Basically, my thoughts with this moveset are, this is kind of like the Mario of this video game. He's the most iconic YouTuber of all time. His face is plastered everywhere on food and backpacks and on YouTube ads. And I was thinking what could be super interesting for this moveset is maybe as he's fighting, maybe he starts off as like young Jimmy, where he's, just starting out in the YouTube world with where he's like, counting to 1 million.
Back when he was a real person.
Basically when he had no money.
Yeah.
that's when Jimmy starts, he has no money, but like, as the game progresses.
Oh, dude, I have one with this concept.
Oh, really? Do you not have Mr. Beast?
No.
On your list?
No, because I knew you would put Mr. Beast. I was like, it's too obvious.
You know what? I actually almost didn't put Mr. Beast on because I was super positive that you would have him on there.
Yeah. I almost put Mr. Beast on. I put a little bit of thought into it. And I see where you're going with monetization. I was going very similar. I was going to go the creator of marketing.
Okay.
And in my head, all of his moves would be advertisements for something that he has created or owned.
Okay, I like that.
So, he could space you out by chucking Feastables at you, like he does at people in boats.
Yeah.
He can power up by eating a Lunchly.
Oh yeah.
He has a lot of like other businesses that people don't really talk about, like that are for creators, by creators. You know, he has this service where you can look at like your channel's view counts and find other channels like similar to yours and get a lot of that information. That's like a monthly subscription for like corporations.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work that in, but sure.
I thought it would be interesting if he had like a similar down special move to Villager, because, you know, he had that planting 100 million trees thing that he did.
He just finished cleaning the ocean.
What was that for? Was that for like...
Team Seas.
Was that for like 50 million? What was that for? I don't think that was for 200 million. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that was kind of a gimme. Mr. Beast is kind of a gimme on this roster.
And I mean, he has to be in there.
He does.
He's one of the people that is on the poster. There's like 7 people on the poster, and he's definitely there.
Mr. Beast is Mario.
Yes.
And I know exactly who my link is. I'm curious as to, I mean, I don't know if you want to skip to the person you had for monetization.
I will. I had, what's his name? Graham Stetham. I don't know if you know who that is.
Don't know who
he's
Graham
a finance YouTuber. So he's like he's just basically a super rich YouTuber. And he's like, all right, I invested in this property and then I turned it for this. And like, here's how you become rich at home. And it is like scammy, but it's like less scammy because at least he's kind of putting it on YouTube.
That's okay. I see where you're coming from there.
And so I said that he was going to be the creator of money. And the longer the match lasts, the stronger his investments are.
Okay, so it's a time thing with your guy.
Yeah, so I mean, he does end up like playing very campy, which is
you need a character
lame because he's also a finance YouTuber, which is lame. So you know, both of these things go hand in hand. I was saying that he would attack with money, so maybe he could have a currency system where like the longer that he doesn't attack, or maybe the more he blocks or something, he gains money, and then in order to expend it, he attacks.
That's kind of similar to where I was going with Mr. Beast, where the more money he gained, he could use that to power up like his attacks, you know, because you know he has like those hydraulic presses. He has the $1 versus $1 million. He could have that with like
his
smash attacks where you like,
dude, his ultimate ability could be that he runs a train on you.
In what way? in what way, Forrest?
He runs a train over you.
Oh, okay, yeah. it'd be that is a rough one right now to say for Mr. Beast. Yeah, I was thinking just taking a lot of his challenges.
Or the Panther, the Mr. Beast Panther.
Ooh, one move that Mr. Beast could have is like, you know, he has like the circles on the ground. Maybe he could like summon a circle that you have to stay inside of if you're the opponent. If you get out of it, like you take a lot of damage, or maybe you get like hit by a Lamborghini, and that could like trap you in and like set up for like a Mr. Beast like big attack, like, you know, overhead or like a big projectile, something like that. I don't know.
Or hear me out on this one.
Okay.
His assist when he comes in is that he puts a Mr. Beast merch on the enemy.
Ooh. Would it do any damage, or would it just be...
I think it just reminds you who owns YouTube and who owns this game. It's really more of a mental attack.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, increase damage or something.
Okay, but I like the idea that you had for the what was his name again?
Graham Stephan.
Okay. Yeah, I'll move on to my next guy. This is who I think is the Link.
Okay.
Of this fighting game. Someone who's spent a lot of time on the platform, who's very wise, who's someone looking to the
big thumbs up from the audience out there. Super stoned, walked past, very confused.
I think it's appropriate to have a gaming YouTuber on the list.
Oh, I just certainly have gaming YouTuber on here.
And if any YouTuber exemplifies the gaming genre, it has to be PewDiePie.
Do you think that? Do you think that PewDiePie exemplifies the gaming genre in YouTube?
I could definitely see it being
like
Markiplier.
School. Well, another wave from the audience.
The thing that I'm
old school.
The thing that I'm trying to do with my roster was try to get a collection of old people and new people and kind of like combine. PewDiePie is technically retired. Like he doesn't take YouTube as seriously, and I was thinking like, you know, he is one of the biggest channels on the platform. He's one of the standout mascots. He's kind of like Crash Bandicoot, where he was like really big during his time, and then he's kind of like faded now, but he's still like...
Yeah, well, he also became very hard to work with for a lot of brands.
That's true.
Due to the certain bridge incident.
Which will be a stage.
Which certainly the PUBG bridge will be a stage.
PUBG bridge will be a stage.
And if you kill PewDiePie on it...
He did. He does
voice line.
N-bomb.
Voice line plays for sure.
I'm sure that he'd have a move where he like tosses a barrel out. That was a big like inside joke on his channel. Maybe he has like a Falcon Punch like bro fist kind of move. You know.
I mean, I could see PewDiePie with a lot of different things. I think what's interesting about PewDiePie is all the eras of his content. This is why I kind of have an issue with you saying that he exemplifies gaming.
That's fair.
Is because, you know, he was one of the original gaming YouTubers that made it big, for sure. Playing horror games, like play-alongs, whatever. That was what he did.
Play-alongs.
He played along with his dong, and you did too. But at the same time, like, and then he was a reactionary YouTuber for a long time. Like, he would just react to things, and it was weird. He would also do like a lot of unboxing videos and like just like random shit, just like weird random like early YouTube shit that creators, if they did now, people would be like, there's no story in this video. There's like nothing keeping me hooked.
No,
you know, it was real slop for the masses because, you know, that's what he did.
Yeah,
he's created slop for the masses.
Yeah,
which is beautiful.
It is absolutely beautiful.
It's really nice, I think.
Yeah, who do you have as a gaming YouTuber if you're just jumping around your?
I mean, I got one of the greatest gamers of all time, Shroud.
All right, sell me on this.
Shroud the aimbot.
Creator of aimbot, is that his?
I didn't put the creator up for all of them.
Okay.
Some of them I just put the.
Okay.
And this is what he's famous for. You know, like he started off I would say he has a very like old school YouTube career as well. He started off streaming a lot when he was very good at CSGO in like 2012 or some bullshit. And he started hitting just crazy shit all the time. Like, and he would post it to Reddit. He was one of those YouTubers, and there was an era of YouTube where YouTubers got big off of Reddit posts. And he was definitely like one of the biggest from that era. And so he would hit crazy like flick shots and whatnot. And he'd post it to Reddit, and then people would be like, wow, look at this guy. And they'd go to his YouTube and they'd be like, wow, look at this guy. And eventually pro teams picked him up. He's been pro player, not pro player, or whatever. The thing with Shroud is that every game that he touches, if it's a first person shooter, he's incredibly good at.
He's a god.
He's like, yeah, he is. He's kind of a god. So for Shroud, I said, because he is such a aimbot and such a first-person shooter guy, you got to play him with a mouse and a keyboard.
You have to, like, in order to play the character?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, you know, ditch your controller, what the fuck ever. I'm not saying you're playing him in first person or anything like that, but you are playing with a mouse and you are playing with a keyboard.
Would you be able to, like, move, like, a cursor on screen to, like, shoot the opponent from, like,
I was thinking about that. I don't know. I think that, you know, there's a lot of potential for that to be just dummy broken in an unfun way.
Yeah.
A real like player 2 Mario Galaxy situation. But there's definitely some aspect of that. Maybe click to attack. I don't know. Definitely like his movement abilities could be like bunny hopping.
he's bunny hopping across like that's so awesome.
You know, like he pulls out like crazy CS skins and he just hits people with the blunt side of an op.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that there's just a lot of
there's a lot of variety there.
There's a lot of variety there, and I think what's exciting about it is that you're having to adopt a new play style to fit the creator.
I like that a lot. For my next YouTuber, YouTube is, unfortunately, a pretty male-dominated field, I would say.
Super.
And I didn't want that to reflect super heavily in our roster. So I was thinking, like, what females could we get in this fighting game?
Females, yes.
And I was also thinking, like, God, it would be really cool to get, like, an animation YouTuber in here, you know? Like, because animation took over the
I
YouTube
almost put
platform.
her on, too.
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm still repping up.
Sorry, my
bad. So I was thinking it'd be really cool to get the winner of the YouTuber Royale, 50 YouTubers enter a box and leaves. I thought it'd be super cool to get.
And also the winner of YouTuber Paintball Tournament.
That's true. I'm putting motherfucking Jaden Animations in the game. Now, here's what I'm thinking for her moveset. I want her to be one of the few weapon users of the cast. I want her to have a sword that she wields that is like a giant like stylus, a giant like pen that you would use for like animation. And basically she'd be like swinging the sword around, you know, doing like super crazy combos, you know, has a lot of range. But then also she could start drawing things like with the pen sword in the middle of combat to like send out like a rocket at the opponent or maybe like
a real Scribblenauts situation.
Yeah, like a Scribblenauts type of thing. And
that would be really, really cool.
And she'd also have like her birds flying around her that she could like send out after an attack, a la Testament from Guilty Gear, who can do like kind of something similar. That's and I think out of all of these characters, that's probably like who I would main in this game.
Yeah, I mean, she sounds cool. Yeah. And also I really like the idea of her just maybe being stylistically different than all the other people. You know,
that was
like
one of the things that
everybody, you know, everybody maybe looks like a real person or some representation of their YouTube, but she would be like animated. I think that could be super, super cool. You see a lot of like really well respected animated video games, like Cuphead, for example, and it's just, they're awesome. It has a fun vibe to it. So the idea of putting her in like a Space Jam situation is awesome. But I mean, if you want to talk about artists on YouTube, I got the right guy for you. I got Super Mario Logan.
Did you think I was gonna put? I don't have Super Mario Logan. I have Jeffy specifically.
I figured you would put Super Mario Logan, but I needed to put him anyways.
Yeah, I know
because he's the copywritten creator.
Okay. Yeah. For me, he was Jeffy. He's the creator of demonetization. To like
lovely.
Oppose Mr. Beast.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, for the uninitiated. Super Mario Logan is, I don't know, about 3 channels worth of YouTube content that started off making like puppeteer. They're not puppets. They're like dolls.
Yeah, they're like stuffed toys.
But for using them as if they were puppets. Versions of like just like weird ass stories, just weird stories using Nintendo characters and this kid named Jeffy.
Yeah.
Jeffy.
It's really hard to explain. Here,
Jeffy is a very ableist depiction of somebody deeply autistic.
Yes,
is really the way to put it.
To put a picture in your head, imagine a tiny little doll that has a unibrow, is always wearing a bicycle helmet, has a pencil sticking out of his nose, a yellow shirt that has Jeffy written on it, and he has a diaper outside of his shorts that he wears. He wears the diaper outside of his pants so that his diaper doesn't get dirty when he shits himself.
Just so you know, for my notes here, I have notes next to all these people so I don't forget my idea. I wrote puppets and autism. Yeah. I didn't really know where to go with it. But I feel like if we're talking about art that's been on YouTube, we have to address one of the more beautiful things I've ever seen to grace YouTube, which of course is the SML movie.
Where Jeffy turns 18, right?
Where Jeffy turns 18. And I maybe this could be some kind of like cast switch out. Maybe this is a trio that you pick. You pick 3 characters and maybe you get the chef and you get
Chef Pee-Pee,
Jeffy and Junior too. Yeah. And you know, one of them's the heavy, one of them is movement, one of them is whatever. Yeah. And I just think that there's a lot of potential for something. We need something a little basic. Okay. You know, we need someone to just be like kind of like the Pokemon trainer situation of this game. And I think that they would be good for that.
I know what you mean. I was thinking specifically Jeffy. The reason why I wanted him was just because I wanted like variation in like cast size, if that makes sense. And I think Jeffy unfortunately has a very unique silhouette compared to like
absolutely.
all these other YouTubers.
Yeah, he's also the only correct me if I'm wrong, real puppet.
Yeah, he's like an actual
series, yeah.
Well, actually they had to change up all the like actual Mario characters, so now all of them are basically puppets.
Worth mentioning. There's 3 YouTube channels. Because 2 of them got stricken down. Yeah,
a lot of them did. I also just think nothing would make me mauled harder if I got absolutely comboed on by a Jeffy and then he starts spanking his diaper as a taunt.
I mean, that'd be hype though. Okay, George. Here's the deal with the copywritten stuff. Okay. If we're gonna talk about all this shit that is like copywritten and taken down, I feel like you can't go without addressing the channels that might do that. Yeah. On my list, I have Taylor Swift Vivo. Okay. This is, of course, where she posts all of the official music videos and like lyric videos, whatever, all of her music. Taylor Swift Vivo. Yeah. One of the largest creators on YouTube. I wrote that she is the creator of copyright strikes. Okay. And that enemies, it's like an interesting technical play situation. Enemies can do moves to her once before she steals them.
Ooh.
So she's kind of like a Ditto in the Pokemon world, right? Like if you down tilt her, that's cool and all.
Yeah.
But now she can do it right back to you.
So would then Taylor Swift not have a lot of moves of her own then?
No, she has no moves of her own to begin with.
Oh, interesting. So she's just waiting for you to
she's playing a real mind game with you. This is an intellectual character to play. You know, it's not so easy.
That's actually, I actually really like where your head's at on this one. I had a creator of my own that I thought would be really interesting as the creator of controversy.
Ooh, I like that.
The one that
lots of options.
There are lots of options. The one that I chose specifically was Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas,
yeah.
She is a very controversial figure for her questionable use of blackface and black scent throughout
and
the history
also
of YouTuber.
Just various nationalities she claims and religions she claims.
She claims to have it seemingly at whim.
Oh yeah, and the amount of just weird shit that goes on with her that is entirely unchecked, and everybody's like, Trisha Paytas is a queen, and she's just singing about how she used to be Jewish but she's not because that's bad. It's what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
with
that's
Trisha
her victory
Paytas?
song. That's her winning song. When she wins the game.
She has a lot of music. None of it's good.
I don't necessarily know what her moveset would be per se because I'm not a Trisha Paytas fan.
I like to think that it would be a series of appropriation.
Okay.
So maybe she runs at you and she's appropriating a culture.
She's dressed like Egyptian and you're like, what the fuck?
No, straight up. Because she does that.
She does do that.
You know, she blocks and she's appropriating, I don't know, a defensive culture. I don't really have a lot of examples of cultures
she's also
use right now, but...
She's also just someone who just kind of shows up everywhere. She showed up on an episode of The Murray Show, you know, the one where they're like, you are not the father.
Yeah.
She showed up in a sketch episode of that where they faked all the results and it was hey, I'm Trisha Paytas. She was in an episode of Nathan For You.
Yep.
What the fuck is she doing there?
She's just one of those people that is, at this point, famous because she is famous.
Yeah.
And clearly is playing into this weird character. Because a lot of creators seem to be chill with her, which to me signals that behind the scenes she has to be normal. Not normal.
If H3, well, he's got his own problems of his own, but if he could spend an extended amount of time with Trisha Paytas,
didn't they have a podcast together where H3 was like, all right, I'm gonna sit you down and I'm gonna tell you how the world works.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was kind of awesome though. And it was I thought a really good way to have a morally questionable figure on your show and kind of benefit off of their fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I know what people are thinking. You're thinking, well, how do I beat the appropriator?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Luckily, I have created a fighter that is super effective against problematic YouTubers. Here I have Coffeezilla, the creator of Exposing.
Oh, okay.
Coffeezilla makes exclusively expose videos on problematic YouTubers and things happening in the scene. You know, he's the first to break the story in the world of YouTube reporters, which is vast.
Yeah.
And unfortunately vast, you know. I really wish that I got someone like Scarce on here, but I couldn't really think of something other than him popping out behind a tree.
And falling on you.
So
I think Scarce and Keemstar are the announcers of the game.
I agree. But I was thinking, how do I fit this side of YouTube into this game? And I think the best way to do that is with Coffeezilla.
That's a really good one.
He has a very definite vibe about him. He has an almost Batman-esque vibe that he puts out into the world, where he's his sets behind him are a dark city or a rich person's desk. He's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I think that would actually make him very good to just be kind of a baseline normal fighter, but super effective against problematic YouTubers, which also brings into the idea of classes within this game, which I feel is really important to just sit down and define. Yeah. I think classes in this game have to be broken up into canceled, canceled, niche gaming, something, maybe they could have multiple types like Pokemon. Okay. And there's some kind of type tree where they are super effective or not effective against the other.
That'd actually be really interesting.
I think so too.
To really implement counters into the game.
Yeah, you have a PewDiePie, right? PewDiePie could be He could be an OG gaming problematic.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, wow. 3 types on top of each other.
I don't know. Hey,
we're just theory crafting.
CoffeeZilla, I feel like he would be pure news.
You know who I almost put on my list that I think is very similar to what you're going for? iDubbbz Content Cop. Because for a long time he was doing that like series where he was going through and like calling out, like exposing creators for being problematic. But like it's really interesting that he was extremely problematic.
That was a very clear like righteous arc where he felt like he needed to correct the wrongs that he had put into the world.
Absolutely. And like the way that I thought his moveset could work is as he's like beating the opponent, they drop like kind of like evidence behind of their problematic past that he then like collects up, and when he unleashes his super move, it'd be like super, super strong.
Yeah.
And that's super similar to how Phoenix Wright works in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where he gathers evidence of like the opponent's wrongdoing. So like sue them in court.
Yeah.
But I got rid of that because I had another YouTuber that was that exact idea, and that was MatPat. The creator of Theory.
I was hoping you would put MatPat on because I didn't.
MatPat, basically he would fight the opponent, they would drop evidence of their lore that then MatPat would use to expose them and like bust out a super move where he's like pointing at them and like they start taking a lot of damage.
Yeah. And I just, for talking about like normal physical attacks, he definitely has a lot of potential there too.
Absolutely.
He's another one of these YouTubers that, although he's been creating very consistent content, definitely has had eras, which opens up a lot of like skins. You could have him in the classic red jacket
that he wore in
that one YouTube. Remember when YouTube was trying to do like TV series?
Yeah.
And he wore that red jacket in like the challenges one.
Yeah, I was thinking he would wear his green jacket that he wears in almost every single one of his like GT Live episodes. And I was thinking that because like on the Game Theory logo, you have the green for Game Theory, you have the red for Film Theory, the blue for Fashion Theory, and the yellow for Food Theory.
Yeah, he got really weird there. Film and game. Those were definitely his things.
And I like what he's doing with Food Theory.
And Food Theory is pretty interesting, especially to someone like me. Fashion Theory, I guess I never took him as someone interested in that.
No, I thought it would be really cool for him to do like Music Theory.
Yeah, because he famously did perform for a long time.
Yeah, he is very into
theater,
musical
like
theater.
live theater.
Yeah. Who else do you have on your list?
I don't have anybody good to bounce off of that one.
That's okay. We don't need to.
But I mean, actually very similar to him, although a lot more niche. I have Carlito.
That name is that the guy who goes through like every single Goomba and like every single Koopa Troopa?
This YouTuber is the creator of Deep Dives.
Ooh.
And so basically his whole channel is like, he's like, I'm going to tell you about every single Donkey Kong ever.
Yeah.
Or every single Koopa Troopa ever. And they're like 40 minutes long. They're really, really good watches. They're very well made. He doesn't post that often. He does a lot of research. But, a guy like this has a lot of game knowledge.
Yeah.
And I didn't really come up with anything like exact, but I know that I want him to be a very like knowledge-based character.
Okay.
I want him to be maybe very technically challenging or something like that. Something that you need a lot of game knowledge to play with.
I gotcha. I have something kind of similar to that where like you need to really understand the character that you're playing in order to fully utilize him. And this is another person that I consider to be a YouTuber titan, even though he only has like 4 million subscribers. And that's kind of like where he peaked. I have Jax Films on here, and Jax Films.
Yeah, he is absolutely of yay fame.
Yeah. He is a very influential on like the YouTube platform, but he doesn't get nearly enough recognition. Jax Films, he's the creator of memes, and I don't know how much Guilty Gear that you played, Forrest, but I kind of see Jax Films as like the Faust of this game, where he has like moves that he would do that would all like do random effects on the opponent.
Sure.
Like he would throw out like a boogie bomb from Fortnite. Now the opponent has to taunt, or he'd like open up like a meteor, like he'd crash a meteor onto the thing, and like he has a big forehead that he could like be on one side of the stage, and like he could like lean over and launch his massive forehead like at the opponent, and like has like a little like jab attack. I just think he's someone that like should be here.
I agree. I think I almost put Jax Films on my list, and then I was thinking about like what kind of YouTuber is he? He's like, he's weird because he's right in the middle of like sketch and commentary and like community-based YouTubers, which there really aren't that many of these days, and there never were to begin with.
No.
But
he's definitely a variety.
At the end of the day, I consider him a commentary YouTuber.
Okay.
You know, like largely his biggest channel is Jack's Films, and the biggest series that he does on there is Yesterday I Asked You, where he essentially creates commentary off of Twitter replies.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about commentary YouTubers, obviously you have a few options, and I put Curtis Connor. I said he's the creator of commentary, and he's really mean in the chat.
Yeah.
He's very creatively mean to you in ways that hurt deep down within. That, again, this maybe more affects the player than the character being played.
Yeah.
Although this definitely will get to you. You know, you're getting comboed in the middle of the combo. It sends off an automated message about how shitty you are.
Yeah.
It sends you a message about how you could have gotten out of that combo. That would piss you off.
That would absolutely. It's like, you should have blocked, idiot. It's
like,
that was
and that's like a
nerd.
voice line or something. And it's just like, he's just the toxic guy. And it's not that he is that in real life.
No, but
I love the idea of creating a character, especially in a YouTube-based game, a character devoted to toxicity.
I really like where your head's at. I had a different YouTuber that was the creator of commentary, and this one's special because it's like a package deal in my eyes. This isn't the same fighter, but they come from like, I guess the same franchise or the same channel. Anthony Padilla, creator of commentary. He has this beautiful series where he'll like bring people on of like different backgrounds or of different beliefs. Like, you'll have like an episode that's like all asexual people, and he'll like interview on like the asexual experience.
Yeah, I spent a day with
OG YouTubers, and you'll have people like Niga Higa or like.
I'm glad that you brought him up.
But I like Anthony Padilla because I also wanted to include in the same roster Ian Hecox. Smosh is a very quintessential part of YouTube culture. They were the biggest sketch comedy channel on the planet, and that's what
they were. The biggest channel on the planet for a while.
They were
deemed the kings of YouTube for a very, very long time before getting dethroned by people like Nika Higa.
Yeah, Ian Hecox, he's the creator of sketch comedy. And Ian Hecox, he's a very weird guy. I'm thinking that a lot of his attacks would be pulled from sketches that they've done. Such as, what's up?
Nothing.
You just like that idea?
No. I mean, yes, but...
I feel like I'm hitting close to like another YouTuber you have on that list.
Something similar.
But yeah, I just thought Smosh is, such an important part of YouTube culture, and I think it would be... If any channel was allowed to have two fighters on the roster...
I mean, it has to be Smosh.
I think it would be Smosh.
Yeah, and I think that...
You have the Chosen, coming in to,
I think that you're absolutely right, and depending on which character you're switched into in the moment, is like, maybe you're like the pink frosted donut versus another thing in Food Wars. Maybe you're like something similar to that, because there's essentially infinite content that you could do off of a Smosh fighter, and very similar to your fighter. I have down here Niga Higa.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna put him.
I have Ryan Higa. He's one of
love that guy.
I love him. I mean, like, I haven't watched him in a really long time or anything, but he was my go-to guy when I was growing up. I think he shaped a lot of my comedic style. And so, I put him as the creator of sketch. He was really big in the sketch community. I mean, he was like the biggest sketch YouTuber for a very long time. Yeah. And on top of doing sketch, he did like more low effort content. He was he was one of the first YouTube groups. Yeah. Honestly, there was like the Higa TV thing, and it had like Sean and Derek and
Dietrich was there sometimes. Dietrich who almost got on my list.
He's a weird career, man.
Yeah.
As one of the best dancers in the world, turned YouTuber, turned like sketch YouTuber into like dance YouTube, whatever. And so they would do things like parkour horse, just guys like fucking around.
Yeah.
For me, that was always like one of my favorite things on YouTube is being able to watch like genuine human connections enjoy each other.
Yeah.
And so, I put down Nika Higa, and it's very similar to what you had, like you attack with references from the sketch. Maybe every now and again, the super, you see the whole gang pop up.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
I know. And it's like heartwarming. And it's like, these people are so important to so many people. I feel like you can't have a YouTube game without including him.
Absolutely. And it's really nice to like have this game that just like celebrates like these people who have like changed our lives and like really inspired us. But at the same time, you could have people that are just like so confusing and so like needlessly toxic.
Yeah.
And the next YouTuber I have kind of represents that. I have Nikocado Avocado.
Oh man, I've been waiting to talk about him on this podcast.
The creator of mukbang. Now, what I think would be really interesting for his moveset is he's kind of a faux stance fighter, where you have the one stance, which is him when he is like very large.
Okay, so the people that don't know this man, Nikocado Avocado.
They know who we're talking about, but yeah,
Nikocado Avocado was this YouTuber that began normal. Like it must be stressed how normal he was for so long.
He started off, I think, with like violin covers. Like he was one of the greatest violinists in like YouTube.
Sure.
I don't know.
So yeah, like he started off normal and then he started doing mukbang videos. And these mukbang videos became very frequent. And he would also turn them into challenges to make them better for content. And so it would be things like eating 10,000 calories in a day.
Wow.
And eventually, when you make enough of that, you will inevitably gain some weight.
Yeah.
Nikocado Avocado very publicly and very famously gained a lot of weight, like a concerning amount of weight. And then made public statements about how he knew he was gaining weight and how it didn't matter because he was gaining money and content from it.
Yeah, he was making a lot of money off of being fat, which definitely fueled his desire to just like keep diving deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole.
And a lot of people, like there's a lot of like video essays about like kind of this sad fall of Nikocado Avocado where like you see him kind of like he even like posts about this shit. Like it's not a secret. Like you see him like kind of fall into like mental illness and just a lot of like rough shit because he's like losing control. Like he can't get fit because he's doing all this shit. But then one day, he got fat very fast, which means he was recording a lot. People maybe didn't realize how much he was recording.
No.
He had recorded dozens of videos, pre-recorded dozens of videos, and then started a weight loss journey. He started working out, he started getting healthy, and one day he posted about like, this is me now, and he was fit, and he was like, fuck all of you. And it was kind of awesome.
Yeah, he was like 2 steps ahead. I'm always 2 steps ahead.
But it was also very terrifying.
He recorded like 2 years worth of mukbang footage in advance and started going to the gym and working out profusely and was like, you've all been a part of a social experiment. And now he is back to being a twink.
Yeah.
And he's still doing mukbangs. He's still like, he's a genuine foodie.
Yeah, absolutely. And he loves food. And like, it's totally possible to do mukbangs healthily, maybe. But, you know, and he found his way to do that. And that's great for him. Yeah. So what's your concept?
So my concept for this moveset is he's a faux stance fighter where his attacks don't change, but he has a difference between being his larger self and being his twink self, where his larger self is much slower, but much tankier and does more damage. But when he wants to be a twink, he'll like do a down B and he'll shed all of his excess fat off of him. And then like he'll be like walking around the battlefield all like villainy. You know, I imagine he always has his like hands kind of like up to his chest and he's like kind of like scheming a lot. And he's much quicker. He can do combos much easier. But maybe he doesn't do as much damage. And I think it'd be interesting if
it takes more damage, certainly.
So it definitely takes more damage. I forgot to mention that. And I think it'd be interesting if in order for him to like get that excess skin back, he has to actually go to his skin
and collect
on the floor and like collect it, because that's not a mechanic that I've personally seen a stance fighter have. But yeah, I'm sure he'd like have a lot of moves where he's like throwing out like live octopuses, because that's something that mukbangers did for a while.
Yeah, that's like a Korean delicacy. And it's actually dangerous. If you do it wrong, they can stick to the inside of your throat and suffocate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure he also has his grocery cart like moped that he drives around. Like he could like ram into the opponent with that as like a quick burst option. You know,
burst option for sure. I figured the burst would be maybe like a body slam situation.
A body slam would be a good burst. Yeah.
I mean, I think that you can't talk about like mukbang creators without also talking about food food creators.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I didn't want to go crazy and add like a lot of food creators or anything, but I did figure I'd add one of the most famous ones.
Yeah.
I have Claire Saffitz on this list.
Okay. I'm unfamiliar with that one.
Are you aware of like the Bon Appetit test kitchen era of YouTube?
I don't think so.
Essentially, for a long time, Bon Appetit, the food magazine, had a lot of... They just had like a lot of videos coming out. They had like a rotating cast of like cooks and chefs that would do like recipe videos. And it was just massively popular because it was like, it felt like watching like a reality TV show, kind of like they interact with each other. It was fun. Shit went down, drama went down, and a lot of the people left.
Okay.
So now a lot of them are solo, but by far, Claire Saffitz is probably the most popular. She has I think 2 cookbooks out, definitely at least one called Dessert Person. She is especially famous for making like homemade versions of like Twinkies or like Sour Patch Kids or like stuff like that. And so I figured that, like she's the creator of baking.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And she would attack with kitchen equipment. I have this in the kitchen. We have this conversation a lot, like it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
What piece of equipment are you bringing to the zombie apocalypse?
What are you grabbing first?
No knives.
No knives. Okay.
Or like my answer. There's in the industry, we have like something called a tilt skillet, which is essentially a skillet that's probably as big as this table. And in order to stir things in there, you need a big paddle.
Okay.
So that's where I'm going with that.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Something we ask everybody that comes into our kitchen to work is if you lost your left hand in a freak kitchen accident, what piece of kitchen equipment would you replace it with?
Okay.
So there's I think there's a lot of potential for stuff like that. Like there's a lot of fun, creative things you can do with just like kitchen equipment, things that everybody's familiar with.
Yeah. I also almost put a food YouTuber on there. I was struggling between Rosanna Pansino and Binging with Babish, but I like took a step back. I took a step back and I was like, you know what? Forrest is gonna have that covered. Why am I even giving this thought?
This is the only one that I put on, but I figured that she needed a shout out.
And you know what? It could be kind of like a dragon type situation, like in Pokemon, where like the mukbang YouTuber and the food YouTuber both like counter each other.
Yeah,
so they do like just a bunch of
or there's definitely a lot of team synergy as well. You have Claire Saffitz and like. Yeah, I mean, she's certainly powering up. Maybe he doesn't have to collect his fat if Claire throws some fucking homemade Pop-Tarts at him.
That's true.
Something like that.
Speaking of team synergy, I really wanted there to be a character that was almost solely status effects. Just so that I think it would be really interesting to have a character that like really excelled in being an assist character. Maybe when they're just like on their own, maybe they're not the strongest fighter. And I thought it'd be really interesting to have an ASMR YouTuber as that, the creator of ASMR. I have Gibby ASMR. This isn't a channel that I watch, so I don't like necessarily know.
I know about her.
Yeah, this isn't like a YouTuber or really a genre that I can really like speak on from personal experience. Like this is what this move would be. This would be what this move would be. But I do think she'd be like a sound-based fighter. And when like she's like on her own, like actually fighting the opponent, maybe she has like very small range because she's like starting off very quiet, you know, and like the first couple of hits she gets, you have to be like super close to the opponent. But like the more hits that you get in, the louder you get. And it starts being like you can send like sound waves like bouncing across like, the stage. You can have like a screech that like stuns the opponent or maybe like you sing a beautiful lullaby that like puts the opponent to sleep or maybe like forces them to like approach you, like kind of like an attract type of thing. And I think she'd be one of the strongest assist characters because she could come in, do an assist, and like stun the opponent to like extend the combo. Yeah,
I'm glad that you're talking about assist characters because I myself have also put on assist character. Somebody famous for giveaways.
Okay.
Somebody that like at one point was certainly the king of YouTube. Not by subscriber count, but just by cultural like relevancy. I have on my list David Dobrik.
Okay.
David Dobrik, famous for giving away the Tesla.
Oh yeah.
And for a long time before he was exposed as like an extremely awful person, he was just known for being rich and giving his friends things that cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Giving anybody around him, and especially viewers, things that cost a lot of money. So I assumed, I put him down as the creator of pizza.
Okay.
Because as we all know, he has a pizza restaurant in LA, Dobrik's Pizza.
I'd love to try it someday.
I would maybe kill somebody to try it. And for a tax, maybe whatever, like he hit somebody with a crane or something. But I wrote down here overwhelms with Teslas, because it's not so much the Tesla itself, but he's overwhelming his team with the amount of support that he's able to give them. Money is flying at them at undocumented speeds.
Yeah, he's just tossing that shit out, not caring about the taxes.
No.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept for an assist fighter. Taking it back to controversial figures in the YouTube scene, I just wanted a YouTuber that would just go out there and just start punching people. Like nothing.
I got
fancy,
one like that too.
Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, but we're just like...
On 3, you say yours, I'll say mine.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Dwayne Johnson.
5. Okay. We both went in very different directions with that. I chose Daddy-O-5. I don't know how to explain this guy. He is the creator of pranks, because I wanted a prank YouTuber in there. Yeah. That's what he called his channel. But it was really just like a guise for just like being so abusive to his children.
Yeah, by the way, this is if you're not familiar with family vlogging as a genre on YouTube, look it up in your own time. It's hard to watch.
It is, especially Daddy-O-5.
Yeah, Daddy-O-5 is rough.
He was this channel back in the day that like would just like prank his kids, but it would just be like extreme torture and like torment that he would
that's called
inflict upon them, especially to like his one kid that he adopted named Chase. And it was
he didn't care about that one. It was the adopted one.
He had 2 adopted ones, and they both got it the worst. And also the mother of 5, was also like super into it, and like there would be like videos and like the kid would be like bleeding a little bit, and it's like just super rough.
And they made just an unfathomable amount of money off of this.
They did.
They made so much money.
But unfortunately, they got a little bit too big.
Yeah.
The school caught wind, and now Daddy-O-5 is now Daddy-O-None, because he got his kids taken away from him for just how horrible of a father he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just imagine like Daddy-O-5, he's just in there just straight punching shit. Maybe like tossing Chase like into the opponent, doing some crazy like suplex moves like that, because he was very big into wrestling.
Yeah, just like Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Who is my YouTuber of like just pure brawler YouTuber. He's, I'm sure we all remember when he launched his YouTube channel with Superwoman. Oh no, what was her name? Lily Singh? Lily Singh.
Yeah, that's Superwoman.
Yeah, Superwoman. Great. Yeah, he launched his channel in a collaboration with her. And he got a lot of YouTube stardom off of it. Nobody really watched that much, but he had several 100,000 views on many YouTube videos and several 100,000 subscribers very quickly. And he would just wrestle you down to the ground, tackle you, and fuck you up.
Yeah. You all know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is.
Yeah, you think you could take him?
It is literally in his contract that he cannot lose a fight. Yeah. In his movies,
That's
if you
true.
watch, his ego is so fragile that if he loses a fictional fight, he will throw a hissy fit and leave the movie.
Yeah, well, because it's wrong. Because that would never happen in real life.
No, in real life, he'd never lose a fight.
Because he'd wrestle you.
I think it's about time that we just take it back to some OGs. Go back to some classic YouTubers. Can't believe I skipped these guys. I mentioned them in the intro. Dude Perfect, creator of Trick Shots. Now, this is your quintessential projectile character. Dude Perfect, they're the sports guys on YouTube. Obviously, you play as like the one with the beard. He's like the main one.
The one with the beard. There's twins. Some of them are twins.
Yeah, there's twins. There's like one who's really tall and one guy who looks sad all the time.
Yeah,
he looks so miserable. Now, since these guys are the trick shot YouTubers, or the creator of Trick Shots, all of their projectile moves have like super specific angles that they go at. And it's kind of your job to like think of where your opponent is going to go and like launch like a golf ball at him or like a football or like what are those like little dumb like toy that they sold where it's
my god, yeah.
You like throw it and it like plunges into the ground. Maybe you have a couple of those.
In fighting games, I really like characters that have just like weird ass hitboxes. You know, I think someone like in Smash, like a Wii Fit. Oh, yeah. You know, just weird hitboxes. But when I was I did think about putting them on and I didn't.
Okay.
But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking they would be, you know how in Multiverses, Tom and Jerry, that character, they were always fighting?
Yeah.
I figured that on screen, if possible, it would be at least a few of them kind of like passing to each other, like bouncing off of each other in the combos, like... Because Dude Perfect is a company. Yeah. It's not a person.
There's a panda, but...
It's not, like... It's just not really, like, feasible for you to play as one dude from Dude Perfect.
You know what this reminds me of? In Rivals of Ether, there's a character workshop where, like, people make custom characters. And there's a character on the workshop called Chess Piece. And what the Chess Piece can do is it can summon in, like, another pawn, right? And you can switch in between the two pawns to, like, keep the opponent on their toes. They're like charging up a super and they're attacking the rook, but now I'm the king.
Yeah.
It could work something similar to that where you like, maybe you're playing as the twins. Maybe they're the poster boy for this channel and you have one twin that's like going up to like the top rope and like one on this side and you're like tossing a football and it's like hitting the opponent like a basketball. That's actually
yeah, cool. I think that'd be really cool. And I'm glad that you brought up sport YouTubers. And look, I know I've talked about him on the podcast before.
I know exactly who you're bringing up.
Obsession with the fact that he's good at sports.
Yep.
But we got to bring in Marques Brownlee.
Marques Brownlee.
He is one of the most famous YouTubers, especially in his genre. He is the creator of tech.
If I could have a YouTuber fighting game, I would want Mr. Beast and Marques Brownlee.
Exactly. And I figured he'd be a stance changer. Sure, he's got this tech side of him. He's chucking an iPhone at you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe pulling out an application, selling you some wallpapers. But also this other unknown side of him is this professional ultimate Frisbee player. You know, one of the best in the world, undoubtedly. And I really want to bring that. I really want to bring a stance changer, and I think that he would be fantastic for it.
I think that is an excellent choice. I do have a stance fighter on here, but I am saving them for dead last. I think.
Oh wow! Okay,
they're too special to bring up now. Another classic YouTuber that I think absolutely deserves to be on here is Pink Guy. Now, Pink Guy is more commonly known nowadays as Joji, the big bedroom pop artist. But he actually got his start as Filthy Frank, and one of his biggest character was Pink Guy. Pink Guy is the inventor of Harlem Shake. He did invent.
Every now and again, I forget that was Filthy Frank.
It's weird that the Cause sometimes I look in your eye. Guy invented do the Harlem doo-doo. You know, it's like weird. Pink Guy is the creator of music. Pink Guy was his first like character that he used to create music. You know, he's got songs like She's So Nice and Pink Lamborghini that are still banging to this day. And Pink Guy is also another character kind of similar to Jack's Films who's just has super weird moves. He's just doing super crazy shit.
I mean, he was really in an era of YouTube comedy that was for lack of better descriptors, XD random.
Yeah.
And it really showed, like, especially in his content and Filthy Frank, especially, like, I was never a massive fan because I've never been a massive fan of like XD random comedy.
Yeah.
However, nobody did it better than him.
No, absolutely not.
He was absolutely at the top of his game. And George, I'm really glad that you brought up music creators because I obviously I couldn't go with just
Taylor Swift Viva.
Yeah, I couldn't. And, I figured that I could put a creator that only makes music, but that's not really the YouTube way. That's not the YouTube way. The YouTube way is to do one piece of content and then entirely pivot for like a month and do music.
Yeah.
And then pretend it didn't happen for another few months and then create more music.
Yeah.
Nobody exemplifies this as well as Dream.
Yeah, I almost put this guy on my list too.
I put him down as the creator of SMP. And, we all know Dream as one of the best Minecraft players in the world, I guess. And Manhunt guy.
Yeah.
But I want to lock in on one of his largest controversies.
Okay.
which is that once he had a speed run that was so good, people went, not possible, too lucky.
Yeah, mathematically.
And to this day, he still denies that he cheated at all.
Oh, no. He admitted it.
No, he didn't. What he did is he said, I guess there was this application on my Minecraft, and I didn't know it was there. So that could have been what happened, is what he said.
You're actually right about that.
And so, what I have him down as is just incredibly luck-based gameplay.
Okay.
Like you hit somebody, maybe they fucking die.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a fucking neuroscientist or space, what the fuck?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Maybe a scientist, a professor in mathematics and statistics has to decide that you were too lucky in this match.
Yeah.
In order for it not to count in tournament.
Interesting.
He to me is like a real like hero of this game.
Yeah, I was about to bring him up.
Right? Like sometimes he just fucking crits you and it sucks to suck asshole.
It's like sometimes you have a full health bar and he hits you with a jab and it's like, you're dead.
Yeah.
Because he accidentally had an application open.
Yeah, and that's, that is the luck-based gameplay of Dream. And obviously when he wins, Mask would play. Oh, yeah. Maybe Road Trip.
Oh, classic. Maybe a song with Young Gravy.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential. I also like the idea of Minecraft. Minecrafter needed to be represented.
I think so.
And
I didn't have one on my list, but I do think so.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay. I'm just going to pivot a little bit to because I'm struggling to bounce off of that one with the ones that I have left. I thought it'd be really interesting to represent more of the brain rotty side of YouTube, because that's very prevalent right now.
Oh, yeah.
Think of Spider-Man X Elsa. Kind of levels of brain rot.
Think of parkour world.
Oh yeah, the parkour civilization.
I watched all of that, by the way.
I still have to watch it. Do not spoil it for me.
Pretty good.
I have 5-minute crafts as the creator of DIY.
I forgot about them.
Another female YouTuber. Yeah. Because the female does the voiceover, and I just imagine like this is just some regular woman. Like they don't have a face of the channel. Yeah. So it's just a regular woman who utilizes like every single one of her moves is she's utilizing like a different aspect of DIY. All of her moves are, kind of like makeshift, like in the moment. Yeah. Maybe there could be like a mechanic where you have to build up some of your stronger attacks, kind of like a cloud limit break. But I just thought it would be interesting if she started like making flame.
Maybe like, certain combos, like tie up the enemy in a certain way, or like, okay, I'm doing a string-based combo. Okay, now I'm doing a hot glue-based combo.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of thing. Maybe she could actually have status effects in that way.
That's also true.
Because very prevalent in her content is hot glue or freezing things or like temperature control.
Yeah. She could fight with the 1 million degree knife, like the 1 million knife versus the marshmallow. Maybe she could do that. It could like burn you. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
No, yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that you brought up like brain rot content, because I got some old school brain rot content for you. Okay. And I got on here Unbox Therapy. Oh. The creator of reviews.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you about him before.
You have.
I used to be very obsessed with opening boxes in many ways. Just like the idea of spending money and then seeing the result of that money was and frankly is very enticing to me. This, of course, led to like a lot of CSGO crates and whatnot. Yeah. But it also led to me like just watching weird unboxing videos. Yeah. I used to love them. And so this guy, let's just say he's calling it a shipment to attack you. Okay. He's opening you up. He's he's reviewing what's inside and deciding if it's good enough for the viewer at home to invest in.
This is your heart. I'm squishing it a whole bunch. It's doing a little bit of chip damage.
Yeah, for sure. That I haven't really thought through him that much. Okay. But I think that there's a lot of like, obviously he throws products at you. Like maybe I'm seeing kind of like money be a common theme throughout. There'd definitely be a money class.
I mean, it's YouTube. Yeah. It's a money-making scheme. Keeping with the brain rot train, I actually have a YouTuber that is the creator of brain rot that I just remembered was on this list. And another YouTuber that could be considered an original YouTube titan, Guava Juice. He was a part of a channel called Wasabi Productions before he split off and just started making like videos very geared towards like children. Like he'd make like don't call Satan at 3 a.m. videos.
Well,
and, that could play into the moveset where it's like maybe there's a clock in the bottom right corner and you have like a minute at a time where it's 3 a.m. where like maybe specific moves do like they summon a demon and like they attack you. And I'm sure you'd have like slime based moves that he could like throw at the opponent and slows them down, kind of similar to like Inkling from Smash Brothers. I just thought he could dive super heavy into like brain rot, skibbity toilet type of shit.
For sure.
Because that's a very big part of YouTube right now.
Yeah,
that's
you
like,
can't ignore it.
a couple of my friends, one of their favorite pastimes is to watch like brain rot YouTube videos that are like,
they need help.
They do. Pick between this food and it like goes like down. And it's like, and it's like hours at a time. And I'm like, I'm losing brain cells.
That's bad.
And I watch epic rap battles of history here, not on my list.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Maybe we've talked enough about brain rot.
I have one more YouTuber.
I think that for me, I need to bring back something a little wholesome. Okay. I need to bring up the lovely creator himself, Stampy Longhead.
Woo! That is a good choice.
I know. Look, Stampy Longhead, if you don't know who he is a Minecraft YouTuber who had his Minecraft world, the lovely world, alive for, I don't know, until like 2 years ago from my childhood. Like, like at least 5 to 10 years, somewhere in there. And he just had massive builds and a slight cast and a relatively active story arc with villain involved and like many dogs that, it's clearly geared towards children, but it's also just very heartwarming to watch.
Yeah, I remember in an earlier episode of the Obligatory Podcast in season 1, I mentioned Stampy Longhead as my favorite Minecraft YouTuber growing up. He was someone that I consistently watched. I really tried to get into that Love Garden.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Never happened.
Which is also, by the way, one of the best, like, healthiest forms of creator-viewer interaction I've ever seen on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be an excellent place for a stage. And I also think it's really interesting to have a fighter on there that's like, relatively pacifist, kind of like a villager situation where they're not really doing attacks at you. They're doing things.
Just probably like fucking building a rocket ship and you got in the way.
Exactly.
Asshole. And or like, today I'm going to build a bowling alley and then he like bowls at you or something like that.
That's always been one of my favorite archetypes of fighters in a fighting game. It's just someone who's just there having a good time and you get fucked up by it because you're stupid.
I agree.
I also wanted to bring back another classic YouTuber. And this is someone that I thought I really wanted there to be a YouTuber who exemplified like old YouTube challenge videos, like
there's a lot of good stuff.
The cinnamon challenge, the ghost pepper challenge, the ALS bucket challenge, like that type of stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I thought no better YouTuber in my mind represents that than Glowzel, the creator of old school challenges. I don't know if you're very familiar with her content, but she was like probably one of the like. She went viral all the time for her, like, cinnamon challenge, like the ice cube and like the salt on the thing. Yeah. Maybe she could like throw salt on you at, like for one part of a move, and then she has to like toss ice on you and it'll like do like burn damage.
Yeah, she gets a Sharpie and then takes a flash picture of it.
Yeah, she like takes a ghost pepper and now she's breathing fire at you. You can get really like
you can get very creative,
avant-garde with it, because there are a lot of those old school challenge videos. I think she'd be super
there was
cool.
no shortage of old school like challenges in old YouTube at all. Like it was honestly crazy, and the amount of people that suffered real life injury from it was also crazy. But somebody I never saw do any of those challenges, but was still a very old school YouTuber, and he has to make it on the list, is Casey Neistat.
Yeah. Come on.
He is the creator of vlogs, and that's not even a title. That's the fucking truth.
That's just what he is.
He was the first daily vlogger on YouTube, and maybe not the most prevalent, but, he holds a very special place in my heart. He daily vlogged for like 500 to 700 days straight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he did do that.
He did, and he's talked about the effects of that, and he is forever cemented as a YouTube GOAT for sure. And the thing I like about him is his very like clear aesthetic. You know, this guy who kind of like skates around, he's like into new tech. But also he likes to like spray paint things and just like do like quick and dirty art.
Yeah.
While also being very creative and very like, he makes very good art. He's really talented at what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely someone who I think, like, I knew you were going to put him on here. That's why I didn't put him on here. But he's definitely someone who like deserves to be on here because he exemplifies a genre.
To me, he exemplifies one of the best, like probably some of the best YouTube has to offer.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, shout out Van Nystat, his brother. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube channel either.
No.
Exemplifies some of the best YouTube has to offer.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to check him out after this then. Someone who, another genre that I think is brutally important to the genre and has definitely been surrounded by a lot of controversy is the makeup side of YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't even fuck with any of that.
I actually had to outsource for this YouTuber because I'm not in the makeup scene at all, but I thought it would be interesting to have like a makeup YouTuber
we absolutely needed one.
And I decided not to go for the super obvious choice of James Charles. I decided to go for Jeffree Star.
Oh,
someone else
that's
who was
worse.
that's exactly why I chose them. A very controversial past on 4chan. Controversial on the YouTube platform, got into a lot of beefs with popular makeup YouTubers like Tati and James Charles,
just
and also
like all
Trisha
of
Paytas.
them. Yeah.
For a little bit, people thought that Jeffree Star and Kanye West were having like an affair together.
Yeah, which I think might be true.
I heard it was just someone who looked a lot like Jeffree Star. I don't care. Kanye and Jeffree Star aren't people that I pay attention to. I just think it's funny. He has 2 pink Pomeranians that he dyed pink.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to get them pink.
It's the most ethical way.
I would say.
He can send those guys out for like attacks a la Harley Quinn from Injustice 2, where she can like throw out a dog bone and now they're like running across the stage. I don't know. Just there's a lot there for a moveset and is representative of a major part of the platform.
Yeah, and you know who keeps people like that in check?
Who does?
Somebody like Legal Eagle. The creator of Law.
Nowhere in my mind did this guy even cross my mind as a possibility, but yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, he's famous for making videos about drama going on YouTube and talking about the legality of it all. Because, you know, we hear a lot about drama on YouTube and a lot of people go, well, how isn't this person in jail?
Yeah.
Is this legal? Should this person be charged? You know, like all this shit. Legal Eagle is your guy for that. Like he tells you straight up, no, this wasn't illegal. It was just weird. He'll bring in other people. He'll bring in experts. You know, I think he himself might be a professor of law or a very successful lawyer.
Yeah.
Either way, he knows his shit. And he's not afraid to take people down.
Yeah.
You know, I think that he would be kind of very similar to a Phoenix Wright situation. I have down attacks with gavels and good arguments, so you can figure that out.
He'd probably also be very similar to like Velma, maybe from Multiverses.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like, you know, like many people don't think about the Legal Eagles of the world, but a lot of people watch him and he's famous for a reason.
Yeah, I've watched some of his stuff. He does like a lot of videos like on TV shows as well. Like if a TV show, like a sitcom has like a law scene, he'll go into like the specifics of it and how well like they were represented.
It's very fun. He's very like, he makes all these very serious topics very lighthearted.
For my second to last character, I just want to bring it back to both animation on YouTube and also brain rot. Because I think animation on YouTube is something that has been flourishing in recent memory. And I thought it'd be really cool to represent that side of YouTube. I struggled a little bit because I wanted to bring in an older character, but a lot of those guys started on new grounds, you know, like Salad Fingers or The Llamas with Hats, which recently just had its epilogue, actually. They recently released a 20-minute epilogue. It was fantastic. You should check it out.
Interesting.
So I decided, why not go modern with it? Why don't I go with maybe the biggest indie animated series of all time? So I have Kane from a little series called The Amazing Digital Circus. I don't know if you're familiar with this series at all. In its first month, it amassed 100 million views.
Whoa.
It is currently sitting at 352 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
It is currently also streaming alongside on YouTube on Netflix. That's how big it is.
Wow.
It is bigger than Has Been Hotel, which has its series on Amazon Prime. You will see costumes for the characters like in like Spirit Halloweens. They have lots of merch like in Targets and Walmarts. It's a huge series. They have a store in Japan. That's how like
wow.
It is
awesome.
And it's like it has the quality to back it up.
Yeah.
Like I consider myself a fan of the series. So I decided to just go with not the main antagonist, but like the guy who's running the whole circus. And you know, he can like throw out like his whole thing is that he can glitch like the opponent, you know. But yeah, he also just has a very interesting silhouette. His like head is like a pair of teeth with like 2 eyes on it. It's really cool. I'd recommend watching the series sometime, Forrest.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. That sounds very cool.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my second to last character.
I wanted to save somebody for last, so I'm just going to have to get this guy out of the way.
Okay.
I have little curves here.
Okay.
Many people don't know who this is, I would imagine, because they're not fucking nerds. But I have him down as the creator of platforming. Basically, his whole thing is that he takes Mario Maker levels that people haven't beaten or have very low clear rates of and beats them and tells people how to beat them. A lot of what he's doing there are like frame perfect jumps, extremely hard puzzles to solve, things like that. So I think that all of his attacks would be very frame tight. You know, this is a character that's very exacting and very rewarding at that. Yeah. But if you drop an input, you know, like you might lose.
You might. That's a very good idea for a character. And now this is my final character that I hinted at earlier in the video. Forrest, there is nobody nicher than this excellent duo on YouTube. I have here the creator of podcasts, George and Forrest.
Oh, shit.
Yes, they are.
I heard those guys were cool.
Yeah, they have an excellent podcast. It's called the Obligatory Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we've been asking guests, like, what the difference between us two is for a while, all for this episode.
It's
so
true.
I could create a moveset tailor-made to you and me. Yeah. So we're a stance change fighter, Forrest.
Yeah,
and like,
I mean, you're definitely more powerful.
I'm definitely more passionate, and you're more cerebral. So that's why, Forrest, you're much more slower. You like to take your time with your attacks, but like when you really get them, you know, you pack a punch.
Yeah,
You're
my combos are long for sure.
You know what your opponent is going to do, so you like wait patiently for them to fuck up. Yeah, that's when you get out like your uppercut move and like you start slinging with your sword.
I famously do this in real life too. Yeah.
And since I am more passionate and more powerful, as people say. I am a one-hit KO character. Every single one of my attacks is a one-hit KO.
But you're super sluggish. You're people also have told me how sluggish you are.
Yeah, I am very sluggish to like make up for the fact. So I'm waiting for you to approach me. I also have like...
You like can't block.
I can't block, but I have the biggest range, so I can also just like attack from across the stage. I don't know, you know, just...
Have you ever played that 2D fighter? I think it's like free on the Switch. It's one hit battle or something like that.
I think I've dabbled.
I've played a lot of that.
Yeah.
And you'd basically just be a character right out of that. You know, it's like they can't really do much except hit.
Yeah.
But when they hit, exactly. It sure does hit.
Yeah, that's my final character that I, thought would be really interesting.
Man, it'd be really nice to end on that. Unfortunately, I have here for you, Peter Kane. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Peter Kane dog training. And he's the creator of the absurd. Yeah. Because he is one of the most absurd people I've ever seen on the internet. Period.
Yeah.
Many years ago, he was featured on, I want to say like a J-Slat video or like a Misfits video, something like that. I knew about him before that, but whatever. And they all saw like this video where he was showing people Sam the Raven, which is his pet. And the Raven's sitting on his shoulder, and he's talking about how awful of a pet a Raven is. He's like, you don't want a Raven. I hate this guy. Sam, he sucks. And the video ends.
Yeah.
He's the self-proclaimed president of the Bigfoot Bigfoot like club community.
Cool. That's awesome.
Also the mermaid community.
That's awesome.
His Instagram is just whatever he fucking feels like.
It's so crazy.
I love his Instagram. He live streams all the time from his car. He's always driving. He has many Wegmans videos where he's just talking about how all the MILFs go to Wegmans.
They do.
And he's like, I didn't look. I mean, someone told me to look, so I looked a little. And I mean, seriously, you put like a soda on that thing.
Wow.
He is just kind of geezerly, but it might all be a character.
Yeah,
and that's what you don't know. You know, you're playing him and you're just like confused how this character works. Like if he really works, but at the same time you're winning matches, so you don't necessarily care.
You're doing damage, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Forrest off screen finalized the list because the episode was running just
in a very hard fought debate.
It was
screaming
ruthless.
For sure.
Forrest did scratch my eye, but that's not important.
Shit happens.
We have our 30 characters that are going to be on this roster. We have some real titans on here. Let's just go down the list. Mr. Beast,
PewDiePie,
Dude Perfect,
Casey fucking Neistat,
Stampy the motherfucking Longhead,
Jaden Animations,
Matthew Patrick from Game Theory,
Jax Films,
Mark Ass Brownlee,
Jeffree Star,
Curtis Connor,
CoffeeZilla,
Claine Saffitz,
that's Claire
Saffitz,
Proud,
Niga Higa, thank God I got that one,
Pink Guy,
Smosh, Anthony and Ian,
and Glozell,
Guava Juice,
Mikado Avocado,
Dream,
Gibby ASMR,
David Dobrix,
fucking 5-minute Craft,
and you know what? Trisha Paytas, why not?
Dwayne Johnson, chuck him on,
Kane from The Amazing Digital Circus,
Taylor Swift Vivo,
very good idea by the way, Jeffy from Super Mario Logan,
and of course Peter Kane.
And of course, the rest of the characters will be DLC. And you know what? Comment down below who you'd want to see as DLC. What kind of movesets, what kind of genres would you want? Comment down below stages that you'd love to see. Maybe some assist trophies. Maybe some items. I don't know. Get crazy with it.
Do anything you want in the comments, as long as you leave one.
Yes, please leave one. And leave a like while you're at it.
Yeah.
And comment down below as well. Which one of us was more...
creative?
Creative this episode.
Yeah.
Was it... Creative Karen, which is Forrest.
Or was it, of course, Creative Carol, which is George?
Yes. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and...
we'll catch you on the flip. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Hat throw.
You know, it's like Usher music?
Yeah, it's like, yeah. PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, Mama my shroud, and Niga Higa too. All right, that's it.
Yeah, that was super weird.